He seemed so charming. He swept me off my feet. Things moved really quickly. Within weeks, he was saying he loved me. He said he didn't want to be without me for even a day. It wasn't really how I imagined it to be, but no one is perfect. He always came up with excuses not to make a contribution towards food and bills. He was always very cagey about who he socialised with. It seemed fine for him to go out and do whatever he wanted. And when I wanted to go out, he asked me a million questions and insisted on meeting me. It became a real hassle to go out, so I stopped. I hated confrontation. His drinking got worse. He blamed it on his childhood. The rage in his eyes was really scary. A few weeks later, he suddenly disappeared. He didn't answer his phone. I was fraught with worry. He walked in one evening as if nothing had happened. We had a furious row. He told me he was in trouble financially with a gang who had threatened to hurt me. He grabbed my arm, pushed me against the wall and hit me until I fell to the ground. His shirt was covered in my blood. I have never been so scared in my life. I thought he was going to kill me. He was totally out of control and not making any sense. I called in sick at work. I couldn't face going out. The next day he apologised, that he was sorry and would make more of an effort. He told me to think of our long-term future. He told me he wanted a baby with me and he begged me to stop taking the pill. I was confused. He said he wanted to marry me, that I was his future. He said he would kill himself if I ended things. Something was telling me not to believe him. Every alarm bell in my body was telling me to run away. I never thought me, of all people, would end up in this situation. I thought this kind of thing happened to other people. One friend told me I was pathetic to stick with him. After that, I felt too ashamed to ask anyone for help. I dreaded bedtime. It forced me to do things I didn't want to do. I started to feel depressed. I stopped enjoying my work. My boss pulled me over one day and asked me if I was okay. He said my appearance had deteriorated. I hadn't even noticed. It was so embarrassing. He kept on bragging about his criminal past. It was bad enough I was in this position. I wanted to protect my friends and family. I didn't want any drama, so calling the police was out. I thought I could handle it. The beatings became more commonplace. He took money from my purse as if it were his own. He left me with nothing. I couldn't hack it anymore. When I go home, it was eerie. He could tell I'd given up on him. He agreed to go. Later that night, he raped me.